Good kick right in front of the goal, and it's in.
Back in, cuts to his corner, take the shot, he scores!
Pennsylvania for another night of Berg Hockey Live, this time from Printscape Arena. I'm Matt Geica, alongside Brian Mitchell. AAA PIHL Hockey is the name of the day, as we'll start with a big-time matchup between a couple of teams that have had a lot of success in recent years in this league. I'm talking about the home team, Peters Township, against the visiting Seneca Valley Raiders. And we see two teams on the ice right now for warm-up as you look out at the ice surface. Peters Township in the white with the red and the black. Seneca Valley with the baby blue and the black and the white with the black helmets. Two teams looking for grooves in different ways, because Seneca Valley has played 5 consecutive games at home at the Barrel Ice Complex up in Warrendale leading into this one, and they've been great at home, to be sure. Anthony Rako's team at 6-1-1. On home ice this year, 9-5-1 overall. That'll tell you they have a losing record on the road, 3-4, including a loss here to Cannon Mac earlier in the season. So for Seneca Valley, not exactly looking to get back on track, but trying to find a way to get some more points on the road. As of right now, the Raiders are in 3rd place in the 11-team AAA division. Even though they've only scored 2 more goals than they've allowed, their defense and their goaltending has kept them in it. The 9 wins have them with 19 points, and that's a couple of points up on Peters Township. Peters Township, well, speaking of grooves, PT's barely played since the holiday break. Last Tuesday, unfortunately, here at Printscape, we had the broadcast for you here on Pittsburgh Hockey Digest, but the game only lasted a couple of minutes before senior defenseman Seth Hanna suffered a head injury and had to be taken to a local hospital. He turned out to be okay, short of a concussion, but nothing that should be a long-term ramification for him. But the game that night against Cannon Mac was postponed. So for Peters Township, they've played just 1 game since the break, as I mentioned, and even that was a couple of weeks ago. So PT, with a record of 8-5, they've been solid, if a little inconsistent for Rick Tingle's standards behind the bench. But still, they're in a fine position to make the postseason. However, it's going to be tough for them getting back on the ice and playing what we presume will be a full game for the first time in a couple of weeks and for just the second time in more than a month. So, Brian Mitchell, normally Peters Township, Seneca Valley ends up being a good matchup. Earlier this year, Seneca Valley got the better of PT up at Barrel, but it's kind of tough to predict what's going to happen tonight because, as I mentioned, not a lot of recent game action for Peters Township, and for Seneca Valley, the results have been so-so away from home.
Yeah, it's like a weird situation with Seneca Valley. Started out really hot on the season, and we're on North Allegheny's tail the entire time, till that matchup with North Allegheny. And then it's just been back to the middle of the pack for the Raiders, and they've been fighting around 2nd, 3rd, 4th place all season at this point. And you think, look at their scoring. There's not a lot going on there in their on their statistical side, but in goal they've been really strong this season. Haliyama has been very good so far, so you look at that and you hope to see what you get with the Raiders. Looks like, I don't know if it's going to be Haliyama or Hoffman tonight.
Well, both have split the duties. Haliyama's had a few more starts. He's had 10, in fact, with a 5-4-1 record. Cole Hoffman, the fellow senior, with a 4-1-0 record.
It's Haliyama.
So it'll be Robbie Haliyama in net for for Seneca Valley. And it looks like Alex Wilbert, the senior standout for Peters Township. Back in a moment after the Star Spangled Banner is played here at Printscape Arena. Just about set for the face-off again. This is Matt Geica with Brian Mitchell. For the first of 2 games tonight, we'll also have, coming up after this one, yes, it's a double feature at Princescape, we'll have Cannon Mac hosting Mount Lebo. Another couple of teams trying to fight for playoff position, in particular Mount Lebo tied for the 8th and final playoff spot. In the 11-team Class AAA, these 2 teams looking pretty good to make the playoffs. Seneca Valley with 19 points in 3rd place. That's 7 clear of the first team out, which as of right now is Mount Lebo and Bethel Park tied for that spot. And Peters Township a little less secure, 16 points total for Rick Tingle's team, and they are just 4 points ahead of the first team out. The benefit of the schedule right now goes to Peters Township, though. This is just game number 14 for the Indians. For the Raiders on the other side, this is already game number 16, so fewer points available for the boys in blue. But we'll face it off. It looks like it's going to be a pretty even matchup, and it should be an excellent one tonight on Berg Hockey Live. And we're underway as the shoot-in comes from Seneca Valley's Ryan Russell, and it's back into the Peters Township end behind Alex Wilbert, who does get the start. Mark Lehman tries to poke this one ahead. We've had some action recently for some Peters Township players, 6 of them in fact, who played in the All-Star game at the RMU Island Sports Center on Sunday. Get to that in a moment as a wrist shot from Clayton Blucher goes right through the crease. And now Russell trying to tee one up and shoot from the left dot, but that's interrupted by Mark Lehman. Belsterling now, Cohen Belsterling. Speaking of All-Stars, he had a beautiful goal in the AAA All-Star game this past Sunday, as seen on Berg Hockey Live. He's a freshman, but 4 goals and 4 assists in the regular season so far. Ryder Merton, speaking of freshmen, he'll dump this in for Peters Township and skate off for a change. Halyama stops it behind the net. Halyama with an .891 save percentage this year, a .280 goals against. Seneca Valley, as usual under Anthony Rako, doesn't allow a lot of shots or chances, but of course goaltending has been a huge part of their defensive goal prevention success, if you will, over the past several years. Very structured team, tough to get those odd man rushes against. So we'll see how PT goes about the attack as Drew Wilbert is poke checked, but then he dumps in from the blue line. PT hasn't had much of the puck early on. Raiders in possession here for the most part. CJ Phillips flushed it up the wall. John Camp held it and kept it alive. Camp, the dynamic forward, had his pass broken up. And it's Chris Belt sending ahead. Trying to connect to Tyler Kovac. That didn't work. And here's Drew Wilbert for PT over the line. Wilbert cuts to the forehand, got the shot off, and that's off the stick of Halyama in close. Point blank chance, but not much of an angle for Drew Wilbert. Now Camp curling through. Camp open, passing to Zakin. It's in his skates, he couldn't handle. Now Zakin flips off the body of Camp, and it's loose in the Seneca Valley zone and scooped up on the move by Andrew Davis, pardon me. Penalty coming up here against Peters Township. Sharp angle shot by Davis that was stopped by Wilbert, then the rebound hit the outside of the net, and we have our first whistle. Referees Batico and Buckholtz have come to a consensus here. It'll be PT going shorthanded. And the senior D-man, one of the All-Stars for Peters Township, Hunter Ferguson, goes to the box. The signal is for interference with 14:54 to go in the first. That'll put Seneca Valley's power play to work. The Raiders at 14%. That's 8th out of 11 teams in the league. And Peters Township's penalty kill is tops in the circuit. Just 6 goals allowed in 57 chances. Bray Center tries a sharp angle chance. Short-handed, and that one is stopped. PT has scored a couple of short-handed goals. They came in the same period from the same man, Mark Lehman, way back in October at Butler. Cleared around and out by Owen Barrett, and it's Anthony Foltz on the move for the Indians. Foltz's shot sails high. Centered on the retrieval. He'll just send it back in deep. It's Belsterling revving it up for the Raiders. So on paper, the special teams are definitely a mismatch tonight, with Seneca Valley in the bottom half of the league in both power play and penalty kill, and PT second in power play, first on the kill. We'll see how it plays out, though. Davis out near the line. Saucers one over the stick of Peters Township's Gavin Dabkowski to the corner, and it's Michael Spokane. Spokane, the veteran varsity player, puts it around the kick plate. Russell shoves it down deep. Here's Davis. Davis to Kovacs. Back out to Russell. Russell shot one that was blocked high by center. It comes loose to Belsterling. He holds onto it and finds Spokane. Goes cross rink. Away from Russell, but he'll handle it off the bounce. Center couldn't clear. Davis right there in front, and he shot it high into the screen, directly out of play, not off the goaltender, so it'll be a face-off in the neutral zone. In the first period, 44 seconds left on the Hunter Ferguson minor penalty for interference. Okay. Andrew Albert wristing off the glove of Alex Wilbert. It hops off the glass. Barrett will play it to the corner. And Mark Lehman gets the clear, ripping it off the body of Adam Hoffman in the neutral zone. Camp stops up. Wanted to leave it there, could not do it. Picked up by Barrett at the red line and shot into the offensive zone. Looks like offside might be the call here. Faceoff will come in the neutral ice area, right at the center dot, in fact. We'll have Ryder Mertens squaring off against Clayton Blucher. Indians win the draw, but the Raiders are all over the loose puck here. Albert at the side wall. Albert with Blucher, now back to the point, C.J. Phillips. Harmless wrist shot, sticked away by Wilbert. To the point now, and a drive by Hoffman didn't get through. Power play is over. PT's 1 for 1 on the kill. Here comes Ferguson right out of the box to shoot. Oh, and Aoyama wasn't looking for that shot, and it nearly bounced past him. He was concerned about alerting his teammates to the fact that they were back to even strength, but nearly got scored upon from the neutral zone. That would have been something. Hoffman circling the goal. Seneca Valley on the attack on even strength now. Hoffman holds. The dish out to the line, and it's Belt. Chris Belt, the senior D. Stripped of the puck. Ryder Mertens back, and a counter for PT, 3-on-3. Mertens hits Eric Wilbert. Couldn't get the shot through. It was blocked by Albert in the high slot. Albert for Seneca Valley. Rambling ahead, but his pass on this near wing for Dylan Frazier didn't get completed. Here's Mertens now cutting in. Mertens, shovel backhand pass to the slot. It's broken up and picked up now by Tyler Tappy. Tappy had a couple of goals recently as Seneca Valley blew out Central Catholic 8-1. That came a couple of weeks ago. Seen some high-scoring games for Seneca Valley lately, both for and against. Get to that in a moment, as now Henn will shoot. Redirected shot in front of the net. Aiden Alexander will pick up. Indians come back with a three-man rush, and it's Katie Wilbert shooting over the top of the net. Tossed off the glass by Robbie Henn, one of two All-Stars for Seneca Valley, along with Belsterling. Henn now looks over to his defense partner, Alex Neff, who can't clear. Henn will try this near side. And the Raiders' alternate captain does get it out to center ice. Barrett cross rink. This is Ferguson. Put it behind Dabkowski with the headman delivery, and that's icing against Peters Township with 11:10 remaining in the first. No score here. Seneca Valley has had a lot of success in the first period, despite scoring the fourth fewest goals in the league. Overall, they've had 18 of those 42 in the first period. They've outscored opponents 18-7 in the opening frame. Here's the tribe again. It's Biscardo. Christian Biscardo over to Katie Wilbert. And Dabkowski couldn't chip it past Noah Nicholas in the corner. Nicholas, a couple of goals in the blue line this year. Just content in this occasion to flip it away from his defending zone, and Nicholas has to go back for it on the Peters Township dump in. Under 11 to go in the first period. Ryan Russell bangs it off the wood, taken there by Ferguson. Maybe a chance here for Camp, trying to split the D, and he will. Camp is in. Aoyama couldn't make the save. It bounced past him. I thought he stopped it, but it caromed in. It was going to be a delayed penalty call against Seneca Valley, but John Camp has given the Indians the 1-0 lead here on home ice with 10:31 left in the opening period. John Camp keeps up the scoring pace. That's his 10th point in his 10th game. 7 of those goals now. He's now tied for second on the team in goals, despite playing in 4 fewer games than the team leaders. Mark Lehman leads the squad with 15, but now it's Camp, Drew Wilbert, and Eric Wilbert, all level at 7. And a big goal there to get the early edge for a Peters team trying to find its groove again. Here's Ferguson feeding the puck off the stick of Drew Wilbert. He couldn't control it. Ferguson gets the primary assist on the Camp goal, by the way, and another penalty against Peters Township. Off another check, Caden Slavin appears to be the guilty man as he's protesting to referee Buckholtz about the call. But Slavin's about to go to the bin, and it's a cross-check. So Slavin's off the ice, and Seneca Valley gets a second chance, this time to try to tie it up after they've fallen behind. I want to say that was on Peters Township's first shot of the night. John Camp, the breakaway goal, powered it through Halyama. I didn't quite see where it went in, but all I saw was the referee pointing. Had to confirm for my own eyes, and it did trickle by Halyama. So this is Russell skating east to west and now flinging near wing for Kovacs. Good little pass there to thread the needle. Kovac behind the net to Spokane. He has Davis out by the line, but Spokane now dodges the check of Alexander behind the net. Puck loose now. Alexander hops on it and clears the length. 40 seconds gone on the minor penalty to Caden Slavin for cross-checking. Mark Lehman steals behind the net. Lehman score! A short-handed goal. The Indians have 3 this year, and Lehman's got all 3. Number 16 overall in the year for the big senior center, and it's 2-0 Tribe. A steal, a shot, and a score, all in one motion basically for Lehman. Unassisted goal with 9:17 left in the first. Dabkowski will take the draw against Blucher, and Seneca Valley coming into this game winless in 2. They lost to North Allegheny last time out 7-3, and they've coughed up a couple early ones here tonight. Prior to that, it was an OT defeat to Bethel Park, a team that Seneca Valley is trying to keep behind them in the rear view. Same deal with Peters Township. PT, meanwhile, can climb within 1 point of Seneca Valley for third place with a regulation win tonight. And there's another clear, this time from Owen Barrett. Barrett gets it down the wall all the way behind the Seneca Valley cage. Taken on the move by Adam Hoffman, who gets his legs moving. Hoffman now sets his edges, ends up in behind the net. Finagles the puck over to Blucher. Blucher behind the goal, but it's read by Hunter Ferguson of Peters Township, and kicking it ahead is Dabkowski. Dabkowski, late stages of this Seneca Valley power play, will filter it deep. Dabkowski ducks under an attempted check there from Blucher, but the Raiders come out of that pack with the puck. Bush bangs it ahead. Penalty about to expire to Caden Slavin. Zakin flings it forward. It's Anthony Foltz on it. Foltz, nifty move to his backhand now. Foltz rubbed out of the play by Robbie Henn, his opposite number. Bush creeps down the wall for PT, but he's chipped by. It's Dylan Frazier making a move up ice, but the puck did not precede his teammate. That's Drew Zawacki on the far wing into the offensive zone. So they all had to back out to prevent the offside call. Tappy now will chase in after the tag up successfully for Seneca Valley. Alexander to Foltz. Foltz with his head up. He's hooked in the neutral zone and pulled down by Zawacki. That's an easy call for Buckholtz. It happened about 2 feet in front of him. 7:22 left in the first period. Seneca Valley goes short for the first time tonight. So Zawacki has a seat, hooking the call. Face off at the center dot. Ryder Mertens takes the clean win from Mark Lehman. Goals from Camp and Lehman. You would say the usual cast of characters for the Indians. And Lehman cutting inside. Lehman trying to shoot one on the move, but just the last second there, a nice stick check from Hoffman to poke the puck off his blade. Barrett shoots one. And Barrett, who has 8 assists on the year from the blue line, was trying to get a ninth there, but the deflection went wide. Mertens over to the sidewall now. This will be Eric Wilbert. Chopping at it, swinging, trying to keep it alive, and it does come through to Lehman. Wilbert, that's Eric Wilbert rather, to Ferguson, a shot, and Lehman deflected it in the slot, but missed wide right. Barrett on the take. Eric Wilbert to Mertens. Didn't get a lot on that wrister, and it drifted offline. Ferguson to Barrett. Barrett tees and fires, and that's off of Henn's leg and hops out of play. 6:21 left in the first. 1 minute gone on the first Peters Township power play of the night. I mentioned earlier, PT with the best power play, or second best power play conversion rate, pardon me, out of 11 teams in Class AAA. They sit at 28% as of right now. This is their 44th attempt of the year. They have 12 power play goals. Players to look for on the power play. Brace Centered actually has 3 power play goals, as does John Camp. Drew Wilbert with a couple. Lehman and Eric Wilbert with 1 apiece. Alexander, fine reception of that pass. It was in his skates, but he took it well. His shot, though, goes off a body and wide. Debkowski, the retrieval in the slot. Surrounded by blue jerseys, he hands off to Alexander. Under 6 to go in the first period, 2-0 Peters Township. Alexander, D-to-D, Ferguson, big rip, redirected, ends up in the corner. Camp gets it right back. PT doing the little things now to win possession. Alexander going back door, he had Camp, but the read was made by Adam Rabel at the last moment. The shot from Ferguson didn't get through. Alexander ripping and glove down by Halayama. No further play. 15 seconds to go on the PT power play. 5:37 left in the first. A few shot attempts, a couple through on Halayama on this advantage. Nothing on the board during it for Peters Township, despite the success in keeping it in the offensive zone. In fact, they've just had one time they've had to go back and break the puck out of their own end during these previous 1 minute and 45 seconds. Barrett, another face-off win by PT, but this time Barrett's shot pass was intercepted in front of the net by Henn, and he'll fire down. Wilbert, who has the 4th best save percentage in AAA at .918, moves the puck ahead. Hasn't been tested so far in this one, really. Camp will fling it to the near side as he was felled by a check. Alexander guns it around the kick plate. This will be Camp taking it off the wall. Power play's over, but Camp continues on the attacking thrust. Henn picks it up for Seneca Valley, backhands it to safety. Barrett, little touch pass to Drew Wilbert. Wilbert couldn't make any headways against Hoffman, who's getting a lot of ice time early on, it appears. Henn reversing the flow of the play. The big Austin Albert, senior with 4 goals, rips the pass off the stick of C.J. Phillips, and again, Seneca Valley has to go retrieve. Instead, it'll be Peters Township's Katie Wilbert centering this puck. Intercepted and lifted out by Adam Rabel. Ferguson on the back pedal. Biscardo couldn't make contact with that puck, and it'll be Albert ripping deep for Seneca Valley. Bush ties up with Frazier. Puck comes loose to Biscardo. Has an open player, and it's Katie Wilbert at her own blue line. And Katie will send this one around the horn, going after her own dump-in, getting some help there from Zakin, and absorbing a check in the process. And Zakin, the senior, will pick this one up. Strong work out by the blue line to keep this puck viable in the offensive zone. He got past Spokane, but now Dylan Frazier will find Spokane, and Michael Spokane churns the legs forward. One-man effort right now. He's 1v4 in the offensive zone. Now he gets some help here from Kovac. Kovac and Russell tied for the team lead for Seneca Valley with 11 points apiece. McElhaney scores! A bolt from the blue for Dylan McElhaney out above the left circle, and it's 3-0 with 3:32 left in the first. Dylan McElhaney, the senior, strikes for his 4th from way downtown. Even strength goal. And we have some trash talk in front of the Seneca Valley bench. Didn't see who instigated, but at any rate, The Indians have a substantial down payment on this one. 2 even strength goals, 1 shorty for PT. Lehman reverses the flow of the puck. Back to Alexander. In deep in Mertens. Alexander's shooting off the stick of Hauyama in front. Hauyama was sideswiped in front by Eric Wilbert. Didn't appear to be intentional. Wilbert was looking to fish out the puck from in front of the net. Back to take here is Rabel. Rabel gives it around in Lehman. Puck came out over the blue line as Barrett bopped it right back in. Indians have to tag up. Russell now. Russell turns the corner against Caden Slavin in the neutral zone. Russell, strong move to the forehand, but no real puck support there as Slavin intercepts. Now Belsterling chips in, and Belsterling wins the puck back. He's got Blucher making a move down the left wing, but couldn't find him. The Indians just converged on him. 2:32 and ticking to go in the first period. 3-0 Peters Township over Seneca Valley. This would be a significant win for Peters Township if they could get it. Long way to go, but coming into tonight with the games in hand and with some home games coming up for PT, good chance to make some headway and maybe not catch North Allegheny, but at least get into that top 3. That is very feasible at this stage of the game. Slavin battling on that far wing with Zawacki. And Drew Wilbert will help it along. Rabel off Zawacki's skate. Rabel gets some help from Zawacki, but the pass was well away from him, and Rabel was tied up there with Slavin. Under 2 to go in the first. Camp first on this puck in the corner, but 3 Raiders surround him. Zawacki tries to slug it out, but he can't. The boards were closed down by Dabkowski, who gets it back and shoots, and he just missed. Drew Wilbert made that pass, and it was a beauty. Now Ferguson ripping, and a knuckling puck bounces wide of the net. Camp on the biscuit, but lost control. Tappy to Spokane. Spokane screenshot, put that right through the legs of Jake Bush out above the left circle, and Wilbert appeared to track it, and he pins it down for the faceoff with 1:17 left in the first period. 3-0 Peters Township over Seneca Valley. PT here at home with a record of 5-2, 3-3 on the road. So similar in that way to Seneca Valley's record on the season. Ferguson leads the charge back. The defenseman put it off the blocker of Hauyama. It deflects into the corner. Center to Biscardo. Some high numbers out there for Peters Township. You have a 74, a 75, and a 90 on this forward line with Biscardo and centered and Dabkowski. Biscardo tried to slip a pass deep on the backhand. Ends up behind the net and picked up there by Davis. Andrew Davis, the sophomore for Seneca Valley. Off to Albert. Lifts it ahead. Albert trying to chug those legs and get toward it, but Ferguson won the race for the puck. It was going to be offside anyway after the play was broken up, and 2 Raiders run into each other in the neutral zone. Biscardo comes back and rips a shot that Hauyama has to knock down with the glove hand. Hauyama, a right-handed catching goaltender, by the way, and then Hauyama pounced on it with 22.5 remaining on the first period clock. Zakin to take this draw against Spokane of Seneca Valley, and Spokane pops it ahead on his forehand, but he couldn't clear. Alexander to Foltz. McElhaney. Can the Indians add a 4th here? Zakin had his stick lifted in front of the net on that pass. Alexander, Zakin shooting, save Hauyama. Juicy rebound on the slot. Scooped up by McElhaney, his soft backhand. Hauyama has it somewhere in his equipment with just 2.4 seconds left in the first period. Seneca Valley is just trying to get to the intermission, short as it is, but still a chance to regroup. Off the tie-up draw, it hops to the corner, and C.J. Phillips will simply run out the clock. So goals by John Camp, Mark Lehman, and Dylan McElhaney have the Indians of Peters Township ahead of the Raiders of Seneca Valley 3-0 after 1 period of play. take a short break and bring it back here on Peters Township Community Television, Channel 7. This period coming into tonight. Now it's 18-10 after that first. PT has been pretty average in the first and the second, but the third, again, just like the last 2 years, has been extremely fruitful. Tonight, though, it's a quick start for Rick Tingle's team, which has been actually rare to come by this year. Ryder Mertens ran himself down into the ditch there behind the net as he tried to check Adam Hoffman and pry the puck loose. Here are the Raiders now. Perhaps a chance on the counterattack, but Owen Barrett gets a stick in the way of Clayton Butcher's wrister and tips it into the screen. Some stick taps on the Peters Township bench. They love that defensive play. Barrett gets a tap on the shoulder from his classmate and blue line mate, Hunter Ferguson. 6 Peters Township players participated in the Class AAA All-Star game on Sunday. It ended up being an 11-8 final. It was enjoyable to call that alongside Brian Mitchell. The nightcap of that 4-game Sunday on the island. Ferguson and Barrett were the 2 defenders that made the team. And there's another whistle and an icing here against Peters Township. 3 forwards for Peters Township: Eric Wilbert, Drew Wilbert, Mark Lehman, and then the goaltender, Alex Wilbert. And Alex Wilbert had a very fine first period. Probably did the best out of all the goaltenders. Stopped 8 of 9 shots in the first period. I mentioned Cohen Belsterling for Seneca Valley, one of 2 Raiders to make the ASG. And Belsterling had a goal. And a pretty one at that. I tweeted that out at Matt Gajka, MattGajtka. That's where you can find that. It merited a second and a third look. Wrister from Slavin back to live action here at Princescape. Denied by Halyama. Indians trying to keep it alive. That's Drew Wilbert out by the line. Drew, who wears the A on his jersey for alternate captain. Chip this into the near corner. Flipped high by Adam Rabel of Seneca Valley. Andrew Davis tried to toss that ahead, and it does get slammed through a couple of legs in behind the Peters Township goal. Albert on it there. Albert pinned to the wall by Dabkowski of PT. And Dabkowski, along with Katie Wilbert, help usher that puck out to center. Robbie Henn with the shoot in. Alexander chasing after it. It'll be Wilbert, though, getting the first touch on it. Katie Wilbert had it poked away from her, but it came right back to Jake Bush. Now it hops free to Katie, and her wrister was weakened by Neff in front of the net. On the breakout, Tyler Tappy of Seneca Valley. Zawacki, 60-footer. Easy save for Alex Wilbert, and he scoops it off the ice to get the draw in his own end. 14:42 to go in the second. Face-off coming up at the right circle from the Seneca Valley perspective. Kovac for the Raiders against Jack Zakin. Kovac broke his stick off the draw, so that's a gift there for the Indians, protecting a 3-0 lead. All 3 goals scored in the first period. 2 at evens, 1 shorthanded. Phillips drop pass, read like a book by Dylan McElhaney. He one of the goal scorers of that first period. Hooked up with Zakin on the far wing. Zakin will drive it deep. McElhaney with a strong check on Kovac to try to get the puck free. It's a little too late, though, as it's Belt taking a lead pass out at center. Belt over the line. Belt, low shot, directed away expertly by Wilbert. Belsterling from the side wall. Again, Wilbert will play it to the corner. Barrett, looking for Fultz at the red line. Didn't happen. Barrett gets a second chance. Barrett with a rolling puck. Drove it right past Robbie Henn of Seneca Valley. Phillips back to Henn, one hand on his stick. Fine reception of that pass and ripped it right through the stick of Eric Wilbert. Mertens, though, keeps this in the offensive zone for Peters Township. Eric Wilbert has Mertens in the middle. Tries to center for him, and it's broken up. Eric Wilbert again. Circling the zone. Now Lehman shot, and a stop by Halyama. Partial screen, and Lehman wanted to get rid of it in a hurry. Barrett's drive. That's blocked by Spokane. Lead pass. Nearly had Belsterling ahead of the pack. But there's Alexander to range across and intercept it. Now Alexander on the attack. Has a couple of men in front. Alexander waiting, feeding. Lehman shooting. And it's off of Halyama and wide. Perhaps a blocker save there. Lehman goes cross rink. hard carry him off the side wall. Alexander will take it on a second chance. Now Mertens ducks around Hen. Mertens put it to the front, blocked off. Back over to Eric Wilbert. Eric Wilbert to Ferguson off the bench. Shot it. It's deflected into the air and softly in on the goaltender Haoyama, who dives out of his crease to hold on. 12:47 left in the second period. Still a 3-0 score. Thanks for sticking with us on Berg Hockey Live through some technical issues from Printscape tonight. Drew Wilbert from the sideboards took that quick shot, and Haoyama fended it off. Didn't keep it cleanly, but his teammates will help him out here and return it to center ice. Camp unable to latch onto that lead pass from Jake Bush that was bouncing and hopping. Albert lowers the shoulder to get past Drew Wilbert. Albert, though, ran out of teammates there. Could not get it over to Frazier, who was a bit late joining the party. Rabel the bank play. Helped further by Davis. Davis will now shoot in. It hops wide of the net. Bush taking it there. And it's Jake Bush, the senior D-man, cracking that. Not past Albert, though. Albert to the middle. Frazier mishandled. Bumped into his own man. Here are the Indians now on the counter. Drew Wilbert's shot sticked away to the end boards by Haoyama. Stronger period for Haoyama, controlling the rebounds better, making the first stops as well. This is icing against Seneca Valley with 11:48 to go in the first. Again, coming up later tonight, it's part of a doubleheader here at the Printscape Arena. Mount Lebo traveling down here to the South Hills to take on Cannon Mac. We have a penalty, our first penalty of the second period. John Camp is in the box for roughing, so Peters Township shorthanded for the third time tonight already. And 11:45 on the second period clock. Seneca Valley gets its third power play chance. And here are the Raiders. Davis, wrister, blockered away by Wilbert. Free in the slot. Kovac calms things down and finds Spokane with this one. Spokane exchanges with Belsterling, slapper, and it's off of Davis in front, and it will bounce all the way back out into the neutral zone. Spokane hounded there by Brace Sennert. Sennert forces the turnover and tosses it ahead looking for Fultz. Fultz couldn't get there, but we have a penalty. And it's going to be against Seneca Valley. Outstanding hustle from the Indians to force that turnover, and Spokane, the Raiders captain, gets nabbed for slashing. So that negates the power play rather quickly. Just about 30 seconds into it. Seneca Valley now officially 0 for 3. PT probably will have a second power play chance here, but look out there as Eric Wilbert maneuvered to get an open shot from the side of the net, but he put it a little bit wide. Hoffman couldn't toss it past Lehman, but then Hoffman got some help there from Rabel to force it out to center ice. It's a 4-on-4 situation right now with a couple of minor penalties on the big overhanging scoreboard at center ice. Eric Wilbert slows things down, tried to maneuver and find a way to get that pass through, but unable to do so. Lehman was the intended target. Blucher will rip in. 10.5 to go in the second. 38 seconds left on the penalty to John Camp of Peters Township. After that, it'll be a short Indians power play. Eric Wilbert finds the late man. Lehman, a snap shot, and it's stopped by Haoyama. And not many goaltenders have faced up against Lehman in the slot like that and lived to tell about it, but Haoyama gets the better of that one-on-one battle. Well, Seneca Valley has allowed just 40 goals on the season, but they did allow 7 last time out to North Allegheny. Of course, no shame there. The Tigers have done that to a lot of teams this year. They're averaging over 5 goals per game, for crying out loud. Tappy, wristing, stick save by Wilbert. Right above the blocker hand. Still 4-on-4. Point being, though, Seneca Valley's given up a few more than they're used to. And the offense hasn't given them a lot this year. They're third from the bottom in goals per game. McElhaney, fine little deke there and nearly sneaked it by Halayama on the short side. Power play begins for Peters Township. Camp's out of the box. McElhaney joined by Camp in the corner. Mertens now backs out, stay above the puck. It'll be Camp. Handling, dishing to Barrett. Near side, Alexander rips it cross rink. That's off of Noah Nicholas's stick for Seneca Valley. Indians keep though. Barrett, slap pass, fanned on it. And that'll be Andrew Davis, at least sending out to the attacking blue line for Seneca Valley. Mertens couldn't get that pass through the stick of Russell. And we're down to 2 seconds to go on this short second power play for Peters Township. And it's given away by Barrett. Belsterling, not one you want to give it to. Seneca Valley trying to break the ice here. Still down 3-0, but back to even strength. 9 minutes to play in the second period. Spokane couldn't center that. He hit the back of the net with it. McElhaney to Camp. Reaches back to collect, but then he's dispossessed by Henn, who had a good stick. Spokane run off to the side by Barrett. 5-man scrum for the puck. Indians have the manpower edge there, and they do win it. Camp joined by Zakin. Camp tries to center for Zakin. Belsterling got his stick in the way to take it off his stick. Spokane reaching in. Belsterling behind the back pass. Had Spokane, but Barrett stayed at home to break that up. Henn to Spokane. In deeper and around to the far side. Belsterling. Sharp pass out to the line. Redirected shot. Frazier got a piece of that drive by Alex Neff. But it hopped offline. Alexander to Zakin. Zakin has Drew Wilbert with him on this near side. Try to go far wing to Slavin. That didn't connect. Now 8 minutes to play in the second period. Still a 3-0 score for Peters Township. Seneca Valley appears to have settled down. But the Raiders need at least 3 to get a point out of this one. Zakin. Off the lead feed from Barrett. Nothing materializes from that. Now Barrett again by the red line. Barrett, the bounding puck ahead. It'll be taken there by Rabel. In behind to Neff. And right back to Adam Rabel, the junior D-man. Crunching check out at center ice by Andrew Davis. And the Indian who was hit is still down right in front of the bench. Rising slowly, Hunter Ferguson. And the Seneca Valley penalty box is open. Davis is going off for a penalty. Cross-checking the call. 2 referees, Batico and Buckholtz, discussing it, and they've come to that conclusion. Power play number 3 for Peters Township on the way. And an important chance here for both sides, obviously. Could be a turning point. More clearly, it could be a turning point if PT makes it a 4th. That puts this one pretty much in control, heading to the late stages of the second period. Lehman, a strong move to win that puck behind the net. Alexander back to Lehman. He has a big shot. He'll use it here, and Halayama booted it out. Alexander keeps it in, though, at the blue line. Lehman once more. Missed everything, but hard end-board Karam right back to Barrett on the far wing side. And Barrett keeps this attempted clear alive. He shot one off the body of Halayama, who closed down the short side. Barrett again. Owen Barrett, 2 goals on the year from the blue line. Over to Alexander. Cross ring to Barrett. Skipped under his stick. And now pushed ahead by Seneca Valley and Spokane. The Raiders captain has Belt going to the net, but his pass was intercepted by Lehman. Spokane wanted a penalty as he was wiped out by Barrett. He's not going to get one. A minute left on the power play here. Mertens back behind him. Lehman score! What a passing play. Mertens to Eric Wilbert to Mark Lehman, who buries that off the left post. It's a 2-goal game for Lehman. And with 6:26 left in the second period, PT has 4, and Seneca Valley still looking for their first. Lehman has a shorthanded goal, and now he has a power play goal. Number 17 on the year, and look out, league leaders. He's just 2 behind the top spot in Class AAA scoring, jointly held by Josh Ripp of Cannon Mac and Devin Rorich of Upper St. Clair. But that one's more about team play. As you saw, Eric Wilbert knew where he was going to go with that puck. When Mertens gave it to him, he was ready to drop that back on the 3-man rush. So 4-0 Peters Township, and Drew Wilbert sneaks one through right off the faceoff. Drew Wilbert scores for a 5-0 lead, 6:21 to go in the second. 2 goals, 5 seconds apart for the Tribe. And Drew Wilbert's 7th just might have put this one on ice if it wasn't already. Timeout, Seneca Valley. Figured that might be coming. Anthony Rako wants to talk things over. Pardon me, Cole Hoffman is actually in net now for Seneca Valley. I missed that goaltending change. So Hayama started Hoffman now in goal. PT has poured on 2 before you can blink. It's 5-0. Dabkowski gets the assist on the most recent goal. I'll give it a look here to see if there is a live box for this one. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't from Printscape. There is not this time. So unfortunately, I can't get you the full score sheet, but what I have right here looks like this. 2 goals for Mark Lehman for Peters Township, 1 shorthanded, 1 power play, as I mentioned. McElhaney, Camp, and Drew Wilbert have the other goals for PT. And I have assists on the board here for Eric Wilbert, Ryder Mertens, Gavin Dabkowski, and Hunter Ferguson. Didn't get assists on the 3rd PT goal scored by Dylan McElhaney. That one, though, coming on a long-range, long-distance wrist shot from McElhaney late in that first period with 3.5 to go in it. So Seneca Valley appears the Raiders' struggles away from home will continue. This would be their 5th loss if this score holds up away from Barrel Ice Complex. They've lost just once in regulation at home. Coming into this game, Seneca Valley had played 5 consecutive games at home. So that's what put them in a bit of a hole early on. Then they rebounded with the help of some home cooking, and now they've got 2 of 3 on the road. They'll play at Central Catholic in a couple of weeks. Next week, though, they're back at home against Mount Lebo, who we'll see later tonight in the nightcap. Puck swatted ahead by Clayton Butcher. Used the glove, literally swatted ahead. Would have been a hand pass if one of his blue-clad teammates had touched it, but they did not. So we continue on. Camp redirecting the puck to himself in the neutral zone. Camp using that speed. Left it there as it was poked off his blade, but Drew Wilbert follows on. Now Camp shot it. Save made by Hoffman. Rebound available, but Hoffman hangs on. And Cole Hoffman, who has a .902 save percentage and a .197 goals against average, gets a chance here for the Raiders. Anthony Rako changing goaltenders. A lot of times you just don't want one guy to get bombed and have his stats take a nosedive for the year, not to mention his confidence. Alexander on the take back for Peters Township, and we have a penalty coming here. It looks like Batico is called unsportsmanlike conduct. It's Alexander. He must have said something in front of the Seneca Valley bench. Interesting. So Brian Batico, one of the 2 referees tonight, trying to keep a lid on things here and not let anything get out of hand. I'm guessing it was something that was said because I didn't see anything that Alexander did outside of trying to battle for a puck right in front of the bench. And the fact that it was in front of the bench leads me to believe there was some sort of crosstalk. And the Indians only had 3 skaters on the ice there. They need a 4th. Well, you don't need it, but you probably should want to get one out there. No need to make it a 2-man disadvantage. 5-0 Peters Township, but Seneca Valley to its 4th power play. And a deflected shot goes just over the crossbar. Albert with a drive-by. Tipped the Frazier drive to this near wing, and it's Butcher. Pitchforking behind the net to Phillips. Now high to Hoffman. His shot hit a skate in front, and then Ferguson was tripped in the face-off circle by Albert. And that's another Easy call to make for the men in stripes. 5:09 left in the second period, and for the second time in this game, the second time this period, in fact, Seneca Valley short circuits its own power play with a penalty of its own. Tripping the call here, just 30 seconds into the advantage. The Raiders now 0 for 4 on the night. Dabkowski will lift ahead. Hoffman, easiest save he'll make tonight. Back in behind, Biscardo couldn't take that pass from Dabkowski. On the chance now, it's Frazier. Frazier scored a beauty of an overtime goal in one of our games a couple of weeks ago up at Barrow against Upper St. Clair. Frazier takes this, pass to an open wing. No one there in blue. The only guy in the vicinity was Ferguson of Peters Township. Dabkowski will try here. High riser goes over the glove of Hoffman, hops off the end boards and right back out. Now it's a 2-on-2 back the other way for Seneca Valley, and it's Belsterling. Dragging, tried to deke between his own legs, but he hit his skate with it. And now Biscardo's on the move for Peters Township after it down in the offensive zone. Biscardo has Lehman coming off the bench. 39 seconds to go on this 4-on-4 situation. Lehman picks the pocket of Noah Nicholas behind the goal. Lehman's having a whale of a game here, as per usual. Trying to tap this puck past Belsterling, but Belsterling wins that confrontation. Slings it off the window, and it's out to the Peters Township blue line. Barrett with under 4 to go in the second. Barrett looks up, has a wide open man, Eric Wilbert. Drop pass, Lehman wristing, that's off of the glove of Hoffman, and it hops into the corner. It looked like Hoffman didn't quite know where that one ended up. And Lehman smells blood in the water, looking for the hat trick. Lehman centering, off a body to the side of the net, and Hoffman will freeze. 3:36 to go in the second period, and now the power play has begun for Peters Township. Its fourth of the night. Much like the previous one, it'll be short. Under 30 seconds now, 27 to be exact. As Alexander has escaped the penalty box for that unsportsmanlike penalty. Bouncing puck out by the line on the clearance attempt. Kicked and held in by Owen Barrett. This is Nick Hewlin now getting some power play time. Off to Lehman. Shot from distance. Hit a leg and missed everything. Hewlin from the blue line. Try to pop it down to the right circle to Mertens. Mertens controls here. Barrett backed out. He was a little afraid of the power play expiring, and now it does. Wilbert will take this behind his net. No icing here against Seneca Valley. Ruled to have been dumped down before the Peters Township power play ran out. Mertens on the charge now. Mertens for the Indians in white. His pass in front is off the skate of Eric Wilbert. Tappy over to Davis. Driving one, deflected wide. Now Russell powers one right through the slot. It'll be handled out in the neutral ice area by Rabel. Or pardon, C.J. Phillips, I should say. Lifts this one past his defense partner, Neff. Picking the puck free is Blucher. Blucher sent it behind the net. Now it's Tyler Tappy. Tappy on his backhand. Found an open man behind the goal. Drew Zawacki, but he handed it over. Drew Wilbert with 2:12 left in the second. 5-0 Peters Township. Strong check there by Neff to negate that rush from Drew Wilbert. Neff's on it again. Almost ran right into Wilbert there. The two continue their personal battle. Henn will hammer this one along the partitions on the left side of the ice. Neff cutting in, but lost control. Pass right to the front, taken there by Drew Wilbert. Tyler Tappy couldn't find an open man for Seneca Valley. Indians try the counter. Slavin to Camp. It's off his stick and in deep. Blucher couldn't clear for Seneca Valley. Now Bush, the push to the front of the net. Slavin, the backhand in behind, and it bounced off the end boards and right in front. And that's where Hoffman hangs on. Yes, Hoffman. Well, two Hoffmans now in the game for Seneca Valley. Per my confusion there. Adam Hoffman's the defender. Cole Hoffman's the goalie. I'll try to be clear, as now both are on the ice at the same time. Cole Hoffman, the goalie, is a senior. Adam Hoffman is a sophomore. Kovac, the first man up ice for Seneca Valley. didn't like what he saw, so he dumped the puck in. Zakin finds some open ice at center. Zakin to the outside, wristing Hoffman. Where's the puck? It's behind him. It ends up in the net, but the whistle had sounded. Zakin thought he had one. Jack Zakin in a bid for his third goal of his senior year, but didn't get the luck of the draw on that. 1:09 left in the second. So Zakin will lean in for this face-off against Spokane, and a 5-0 Peters Township advantage. Foltz knocked this one along, and now Foltz has it here on the far boards. Slid it out to the point. Bush's shot didn't get through. Cleared by Kovac. Spokane helps it further. Belt unable to pull that around Zakin, who held his ground nicely. Jack Zakin not taking a shift off despite the 5-goal spread at the moment. No icing here as Foltz will chase it down and dispatch it right to the front of the net. Hoffman hangs on with McElhaney looking for any kind of a loose puck or opportunity. 40.7 left in the second. Peters Township in search of win number 9, looking to match Seneca Valley in that area. Seneca Valley would still have a 1-point lead even if this score holds up. And the Indians do win it in regulation time, but PT has 2 games in hand on Seneca Valley. Looks like North Allegheny is going to take the regular season title. Upper St. Clair may have something to say about that, but there's a lot of suspense left in terms of who's going to have home ice in that first round of the playoffs. McElhaney taps it to himself, but too far. Hoffman came out to poke it away. Hoffman, I think his mask was dislodged a bit, but he gets it right back on himself as Foltz couldn't get a shot through. Now Barrett shoots in. Indians have to tag up on the delayed offside. Pass to Bellsterling, a little behind him, but he shoveled it ahead. Nice little play there to Davis. 1 second to go in the period. Davis put it right to the front. He just powered it there, and it hopped off the stick of Andrew Albert in front of the net as time expired. We're through 2 periods from Princescape in South Point. Your score, Peters Township 5, Seneca Valley 0. I'm Matt Geica. We'll return for the third period coming up after this break. Stay with us. And Mitchell there, he finally found a way, and that's what it's about, right? We did find a way to get you both dimensions of the broadcast here. It's 5-0 Peters Township. If you've been watching, you can see what's going on. And, of course, thanks to the helpful bottom line ticker, you knew what the score was. But here we are now. We're able to talk to you, and I'm able to tell you that Mark Lehman has a couple of goals. John Camp has one. Dylan McElhaney has one. Drew Wilbert has one for Peters Township. And Alex Wilbert has been flawless so far in net. But it's been I don't want to call it a clinic, but it's been a pretty comprehensive effort so far through 34 minutes by the Indians, and Rick Tingle's team now in pursuit of that 9th win on the year. If they do hold on to win this game in regulation, they will have just 1 point between them and Seneca Valley for third place. So stakes are pretty high, and as I said a couple of times, even though the folks on YouTube couldn't hear it, it's a situation where Peters Township hasn't played that many games in the second half, which means they have a couple in hand on most teams they're going up against here.
Oh, absolutely, and I'll want to just lead off by saying I apologize. We're working on a lot of stuff to try to get you back on with audio. The camera was all over the place because I was working on one thing and then they would go someplace else. We're there, guys, and I hope it never has to happen again, but let's do this. Yeah, Peters Township coming out looking like they're a little bit well rested from that little bit of a break. Of course, they had all the tournaments that they were in, but a lot of teams are doing that too, so especially in the AAA level.
Right, you mentioned the tournaments. We had the All-Star game for some members of these two teams. PT had 6 representatives in the AAA All-Star Classic, and Seneca Valley had 2. So here are the Raiders now. They've given up now 12 goals in their last 5 periods. I don't know when's the last time you could say that about an Anthony Rayco coached Raiders team, but they can try to use this third period maybe to get some equilibrium back and find their balance, find their game again. They're probably not going to win this one or make it particularly close, but they can play better here in the third. I know that's going to be the goal. And for the Indians, too, they want to make sure they don't use the large margin at this moment to excuse a sloppy third period. As they get ready, I haven't mentioned this one yet, Mitch. PT plays tomorrow, a back-to-back situation, rare in PIHL hockey, but due to the postponed game last Tuesday because of the Seth Hanna injury against Cannon Mac, the two South Hills rivals, PT and Cannon Mac, will play tomorrow right here at 6:40 Printscape Arena face-off time.
Yeah, we won't be there for that one. No offense to either team. Like I said, I did 2 games on Friday, 2 games on Saturday, 4 games on Sunday, 2 games last night, and 2 games tonight.
I think I excuse you at least
I
for
think I need
any
a break
further action.
So.
Well, here's the lifted pass ahead for Ryder Mertens. Mertens, a deke to the forehand, but it just slipped away from his grasp. And Hoffman, Cole Hoffman, now in his second period of action, in relief here, makes that stop, if you want to call it that. You and I will be in action on Friday night at the Alpha Ice Complex.
Yeah,
Let's not forget that as we delve into ACHA, college club hockey.
Oh, yeah.
For the first time. The Battle of the Berg, if you will.
Duquesne and Pitt. Oh, there we go.
John Camp wide open in front, 6-0 Peters Township. 15:50 left in this game. You could easily say now, I was going to say regulation, but I think the game's going to be over in 15:50. It's 6-0. The deflected shot from out by the point came right to Camp, and he'll never have an easier goal than that. He could have dusted it off a couple of times and brushed it in. Caden Slavin got that through, and it hit a leg and hopped in. Off the stick of Camp. So Camp now has 8 goals in 10 games, and the 10th game's not even over yet. This reminds me of last year. It's actually kind of scary, where he had a part-time season, just barely got enough games to be eligible for the postseason last year, did John Camp, and now as a junior, he's doing a similar thing here. The points per game off the charts, 11 now in 10 games, and the goals per game especially. Outstanding. So it's 6-0. PT gets another one. It's 4th goal at even strength. Drew Wilbert to Camp, looking for the hat trick off the glove of Hoffman, and it hops over to his teammate Phillips. Couldn't clear it past Camp, though. Backhand play from Davis. Finds Albert at center. Slavin gets the secondary assist on that goal from Camp. Camp's offside here on the pass from Caden Slavin. So we'll bring it to a stop here with 15:01 left in the third. So Seneca Valley will look ahead to next Thursday. No games for the Raiders for 9 days. And they'll be hosting Mount Lebo, which we'll see in the second half of tonight's Berg Hockey Live doubleheader. You'll be able to watch right here on the Pittsburgh Hockey Digest YouTube page. McElhaney will relay this through center. It's off of Foltz's stick. Zakin looks on as it's slugged into the offensive zone for Seneca Valley by Cohen Belsterling, the freshman standout. Belsterling takes this after Spokane checked McElhaney hard. Belsterling's wrister sails wide of the net to the left. Foltz now knocks down Robbie Henn. 2 goes against 2 for the second time in this game. Zakin will push it behind his own net, and it's taken on there by Drew Zawacki. Zawacki to the point. Rabel hopping one into the slot. Zawacki one hand on his stick, but he was successfully fended off by Aiden Alexander. McElhaney will cruise in over the offensive blue line. He scored from there in the first period, not this time. Pad save by Hoffman. Zakin centered, couldn't turn it, but Bush will be there on the overlap to keep it alive. Bush to McElhaney in behind the Seneca Valley net. 6-0 Peters Township. 13:47 to go in the third period and ticking. Raiders burst out of the pack with the puck, and here's Ferguson at center. Ferguson bumped into by Zawacki. And it's a massive scrum now. Far side half wall, neutral zone. Ferguson lost control of that puck. It's Belt wristing, and Wilbert blockered it to the corner. Almost missed that shot, actually. It carried him down off his blocker. You don't often see that. Christian Biscardo helps win possession back for Peters Township. And this will be an icing call against the Indians. Face-off coming up in the offensive zone. Peters Township maybe trying to make it a 7th here. Biscardo dropping it off. Dabkowski shot it, and it went over the crossbar. Gavin Dabkowski, Jr., in his first year at varsity, has a goal and a couple of assists this year. This is Barrett. Pushing this one deep. Neff ran into some trouble there in the form of Dabkowski, so he'll back it out and try this near wing side, and it works. Kovac rips this pass over to the far side. Spokane got tied up there. A little bit of a rodeo with Nick Hewlin of Peters Township. Indians end up with it, but can't make anything happen from that. You're looking at Adam Hoffman, who's shown good wheels in this game. A confident young man stick handling the puck from the blue line. Frazier. And here's Mertens off to Mark Lehman. 2 goals in this game. Lehman has Eric Wilbert with him. Lehman with a dangle past a man. Right in front of the net it ends up. And Mertens a little slow to that rebound. Eric Wilbert got the first chance. Again, Lehman does well to create some offense. .11:52 left in the third period. Coming up for PT, after tomorrow's game, which is officially a road game, although it'll be on home ice. Hold on here as Davis shoots. Blocker saved by Wilbert. They'll be at Upper St. Clair. That'll be a tough matchup next Monday. One to watch for sure. Upper St. Clair in second place in Class AAA with 23 points. But with a win today, PT will be within 5 of the Panthers with a game in hand. Mertens keeps it moving forward, and it's an odd man rush. Eric Wilbert has Lehman with him. Over to Lehman, puts it in. It was a bouncing pass, and he banged it in off the crossbar. It's a hat trick. Tip your cap to Mark Lehman, the senior. Gets it done. I'm not sure how he got enough of that puck and was able to guide that into the net just barely over the shoulder of Cole Hoffman and down and in off the crossbar. 7-0 Peters Township. Eric Wilbert gets the primary assist, and Lehman is now just 1 shy of the league lead in goal scoring with his 18th of the year. 18 and now game number 14 for the Tribe. Drew Wilbert out there with Slavin and John Camp. Drew Wilbert pulls it away from a couple of Raiders, gave it to Camp. Oh, nearly dueling hat tricks, but I think he hit the outside of the net with that one-timer. He was going across his body that close, and Camp is having a laugh with Drew Wilbert now, as if to say, I should have had that. And Wilbert, an outstanding way to protect that puck. Another big night for the Wilbert quadruplets, all of whom have played in this game, by the way, counting Katie Wilbert. Saw some shifts early. Haven't seen her in a while, though. Checking to see, yes, she still is on the bench. C.J. Phillips cracking off the sideboards. Back to retrieve is Clayton Blucher. Blucher over to Neff. And Neff, the sophomore defenseman, couldn't get that past the blue line. However, the Indians are offside, looking to force it right back in. 9:48 left in the third period, and the mercy rule pertaining to the clock has been triggered. It's a running clock now, and a 7-goal spread. Second time in 2 home games the Indians have done that. Zakin now just missing, shooting against the grain from the left wing. PT won 13-1 against Butler in the last game before the holiday break. I believe that was December 16th. That was the night Katie Wilbert had 2 goals and an assist, and all three Wilbert skaters, I should say, ended up on the score sheet on the same goal. It was Katie from Eric and Drew, if memory serves.
Yes, it was.
I'll never forget that. I'll say that much. Kovac couldn't take this lead pass off the side, and Wilbert hangs on. You might say, why get the stoppage? But there really is no stoppage now with the time running out, regardless of whether the puck is in play. So no real concern about rust for the Indians tonight. They've scored 3 in the first, 2 in the second, now 2 more here in the third. Dabkowski tries to round the goal, and there is Katie Wilbert, as if on cue, getting back out there. Hunter Ferguson got all that slapper, but he missed. Now Bush shoots with a half wind up. That's redirected in back of the net. Katie Wilbert will center it. Then she's knocked down by Andrew Davis. Didn't appear to be anything malicious. Davis just protecting his netminder. Dabkowski gets in there to say something, and now he and Robbie Henn are having a chat.
Sounds good.
Defensive zone draw for Seneca Valley. Time continues to melt away, 7.5 left. Coming up around 9 o'clock, we'll have the second of our double feature tonight. It'll be myself and Brian Mitchell on the call again, as we'll see Cannon Mack attempt to defend home ice against the invading Blue Devils of Mount Lebo. Mount Lebo trying to stay in the playoff race. Well, they're in the race, no doubt about that, but trying to stay in playoff position. Now Katie Wilbert bumps Neff behind the net and had a couple of words for Neff. So there's still some drama left in this one, maybe. Ferguson shooting, that was blocked. Brace centered a wrister, and that's rejected by C.J. Phillips in the high slot. Bush busting it back to get there in time. Ferguson wanted to find Katie Wilbert at center, but could not. Time for a line change for the Tribe. Phillips hands off, Neff behind his goal. Belsterling couldn't escape. Christian Biscardo with that long reach, broke it up. Mertens looked for Slavin, then instead decided to dump in. Russell will redirect this one ahead for Seneca Valley, and Barrett back for it for Peters Township. Owen Barrett, the top scorer among defensemen in this game. He's got 10 points on the year. Now Biscardo rips one, tried to skate left and shoot right, but did not fool the glove hand of Cole Hoffman. Mertens trying to make a play behind the net. Ryder Mertens, the freshman, was checked from behind. It's a cross check against Seneca Valley. So the 9th grader draws the call. And it goes against Adam Hoffman. Hoffman fires his stick in frustration. Clock now stopped with 5:52 left in the third period on the penalty call. Zakin reaches in and won it back cleanly to Owen Barrett. McElhaney cross rink. Aiden Alexander sets up shot. A deflected pass behind the net. Raiders can't clear. Alexander held it at Zakin. Back to Alexander. A rip shot. Rejected by Henn. Henn will clear it himself right through the legs of Alexander near the blue line. Zakin ready to take this one back. Up ice. Zakin a one-man break out there. Left it behind, but Foltz helps out. Seneca Valley settles into its penalty-killing box. Alexander down low, too high to handle, really, for McElhaney. McElhaney has an open man. Barrett breaking in, couldn't control that puck. He had an opportunity to shoot quickly, but the first touch betrayed him. Under 5 to play in this third period. McElhaney will shoot off the glove of Hoffman. Came right back to McElhaney, but he's too deep to get another shot away. Relays to Alexander, back to Dylan McElhaney. Barrett lines one up, and he's stopped by Hoffman. Nothing further from that. 4:30 and ticking to go in the third. Looking ahead for the Seneca Valley Raiders, who will remain in third place, at least for now, in the AAA standings. I mentioned Mount Lebo coming up next week. They're right back here at Princescape in 2 weeks' time to take on Cannon Mac. And here's a look now shorthanded for the Raiders. Nicholas looking to go back to Spokane. If he could have gotten it through, Spokane was wide open. And we have a penalty coming back the other way, I think. A roughing call against Peters Township. Noah Nicholas drew it after he was smeared into the wall by a couple of Indians. Clock stops again for the penalty. Roughing the call against Gavin Dabkowski of Peters Township. So PT looks like they're going to finish the night 1 for 5 on the power play. Lehman had the power play goal. Jake Bush, heart high one, gets the puck out of the zone. And I think Jake thought the Indians were shorthanded. Yes, he's shaking his head because he iced that puck with really no regard for consequences. Of course, now the Indians want to protect that goose egg on the board for Alex Wilbert. The Indians only have 1 clean sheet on the season. That was turned in by Joey Nelson, one of 4 goalies to play this year for Rick Tingle's team. Alex Wilbert looking for his first of the season. Last year took him a while to get his first. Mertens burrows in below the goal line. Bush, 4-on-4 situation right now for the next 15 seconds. Kovac takes it back for Seneca Valley. Tyler Tappy lost control. Mertens doubling back. Mertens finds Slavin. It's a shorthanded chance now for the Indians, but Slavin didn't want to take the shot. Didn't want to risk a rebound and a big one to lead to a counterattack, so he put it into the corner. Here's Phillips, though, nearly dispossessed by Slavin. 1:44 left on the power play for Seneca Valley. And yes, the power plays last longer technically on the scoreboard when it's a running clock. Ferguson twisted and spun around on the check from Frazier. Then Frazier came up high on Mertens, and that'll be another penalty back against the Raiders. Roughing. And I believe that was Dylan Frazier. Yes, he's headed off as he scoots by the Seneca Valley bench. So the Indians might get power play on the back end here. Yes, they will, barring any further penalties. And a 7-0 Peters Township advantage. About to be the second such running clock blowout win for the Indians on the year at home. The one against Butler, that was of its own breed. A 12-goal win against the Golden Tornado. This one was 3-0 after 1, 5-0 after 2. And this is icing in a 4-on-4 situation against the Raiders. Well, we're crawling to the finish line in this one. Not the most free-flowing third period. Perhaps some focus starting to wane, understandably so. Was going over the Seneca Valley schedule down the stretch here. Just 4 games left for the Raiders. Shot from Neff, gobbled up by Alex Wilbert. So Mount Lebo next week, at Cannon Mac right here in 2 weeks. And then they'll finish the season with 2 games in 6 days. Cathedral Prep at home and Central Catholic on the road. The last place Vikings will be the final opponent of the season. For Seneca Valley, looks like it'll be another playoff berth for Anthony Rako and his Raiders. And we have one more penalty coming up, interference. This against Chris Belt. Interfered off the draw. It's now a 4-on-3 power play for Peters Township. And it's about to be a 5-on-3. Caden Slavin just hacks it ahead for PT. Alex Neff drives it deep. Ewan winding it up. Debkowski's out of the box. Katie Wilbert's on the ice. It's a 5-on-3 power play to finish this game for the Indians. Katie to the middle. Caden Slavin couldn't tap it past the defending Michael Spokane, still playing hard. Spokane working 1 versus 4 in the offensive zone. Down to 37 seconds, to go in the third period. Offside against the Indians, and we'll get probably one more face-off, and that'll be it in this one. Change for the Raiders. Running clock down to 20. Slavin with Sennert and Katie Wilbert up front. $10 to go in the third period. Neff at least force it into the offensive zone. Nicholas will push it ahead. Slavin gets rid of it, and the Indians win. Indians win 7-0. The result gained at home. Now PT 6-2.